And we're live. Welcome back to the Appsurd Show. I got the helmet on today because we had some audio issues with my mic, but I'm gonna try to speak up and be really loud for you, Sardor. How we feeling today?
Let's go. Feeling really well. It's Friday. No, it's not Friday. What am I talking about? I'm still on Friday mentally. But it's Monday, August 18th, start a new week. We're more than halfway past August. It's crazy so fast this year has been, as we always say, but feeling super pumped, had a great weekend. I feel like actually like I'm starting to have weekends where I'm like able to rest a little bit, without feeling guilty. I guess I'm getting older. But with that said, no, super excited for this episode. We got some new tweets as usual, right? X posts, I
Yep.
guess, what we call them now. And we're going to be reacting to them. We also are going to be giving a shout to a very special listener today. So stay tuned for that. And hopefully this will become a tradition on our Absurd Show because we're loving that. It's not just our moms that are listening. And there's some actually people that we don't know that are strangers, that are no longer going to be strangers. They're going to be friends of the pod, right? That
Well
is
said.
that is what we have.
Well said. Well said, Sardor. Adding on to that, in the coming weeks, we're going to be bringing on a guest to each of these shows. Maybe not everyone. We're going to start looping in some guests, and we'll bring relevant topics to what they're an expert in to, pull out whatever we can out of them, extract that alpha, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, that is exciting as well. We're prepping some great guests, and that is an anticipated rubric as well. And hopefully, we're going to be adding more guests as well. And I'm planning to potentially set up a more of like a more professional studio, like with an actual camera and all that. I will get you some of that as well, Andrew. So, we'll start with a new laptop first, sponsored
Yep.
by the Absurd Show. So things are happening. No, we're super excited. This
Yeah.
show is indeed absurd.
It's a little absurd, a little bit of everything, but with
Yeah.
that being said, let's roll right into it. I'm going to start sharing screen on our first tweet of the day, and this is a little bit of news from last week. The dust is kind of already settled with this, but it overlaps with apps as well as something I'm a big fan of and been in the industry before, crypto. So what happened
Wow.
I believe it was last Tuesday or Wednesday, Google Play Store announced they're banning all crypto wallets in any jurisdiction, not in any, in jurisdictions such as the US and the EU that have a lot of regulation around this, unless they get explicit federal licenses. What's your initial thought on this, Sardor?
Wow, that is crazy actually, because I'm not as educated on this as you are, nearly not as much. You almost went to that Bitcoin conference, right? So I know you're much more into this. I have just a little bit of Bitcoin, but I know there was a new very big bill around crypto, right? So maybe for enlighten me and our listeners here, like what was like in a nutshell, if you know, like what was that new bill that Trump recently signed? Does it have to do with that, by the way? Like,
It does not. It does not particularly
okay.
have to do with that new bill. That bill in general was a lot packed into it, positioning the U.S. as the crypto capital of the world, as Trump said prior. But with this specifically right here, Google actually issued a correction after they got attacked by the crypto community when this first came out, when this first broke. It's specifically non-custodial wallets. So there's two different kinds of wallets. Custodial, like your Coinbase, your crypto.com. Those are the ones that are centralized, owned by those organizations. Coinbase is a public company. They have those regulations and have to adhere to them as a public company. So Google's saying those ones are okay. Non-custodial is where you enter in your 6 secret phrases to access your wallet on that specific platform, that specific wallet itself, whatever app it is. You can think Phantom, you can think Uniswap. There's these different non-custodial wallets that you don't have to do KYC. That's the big difference. If I want to go on the Uniswap app, I don't have to put in my name or anything else like that. I could enter my 16 seed phrase words, and then my wallet's accessible on that. So what I think this is a push by Google to limit scams and fraud, because anybody can put a non-custodial wallet up in the App Store if it gets Google's approval. But in reality, what it could be doing is stealing that person's secret keys and stealing their wallet.
Uh,
So I think this is a mitigation of that. because they clarified that the Coinbases and things along those lines that are custodial are not affected by this.
Wow. Okay. Makes sense. And they have federal licenses, correct? Like, the Coinbases of the world. Okay. I see. Interesting.
Exactly.
And has Apple done the same, do you know, or is this just Google?
This is just Google right now.
Interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised if Apple didn't let those wallets in the first place. I haven't gone down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's been always a pain in the ass to submit an app. Although, I gotta say, what's been happening in the last year or so is that Google has gotten more difficult. We have most of our apps that have passed Apple already haven't passed Google yet. So Google has gotten a lot more difficult. You gotta have 20 different testers independently testing your app before you get it approved, which brings me to the point that most people don't know, but Google Android phones, they have alternatives to Play Store. Did you know that, Andrew? Like, you can not only download the apps on Play Store, but there's alternative stores, and you can build your own store and distribute apps through it. There's App Gallery is one of the most popular alternatives. Like, most people don't use it or don't know about it, but I mean, this is to say that if it gets more and more difficult, what I see coming is like the crypto community actually launching their own app store, like their own Play Store on Android, because Android is open source. So you can technically launch any app on it, and apps can distribute other apps because on Android, it's more open source. So you can download a file and install the app, right? So an independent company can do that. And, while we're at it, actually, you got to mention EU recently made Apple open up their iOS to alternative stores as well. So they have to comply soon with the law where alternative app stores should be allowed so that they don't have a monopoly. But I think if this keeps getting tighter, what's going to happen is there's going to be alternative app stores for crypto specifically, or Web3 stores.
Yeah. It seems kind of one of the classic cases of they went too far one way, too free for all. Anybody can come in, and now they're trying to go back to center. And usually, it
goes from one extreme to another. I think that's what's happening with Google, because they've been known for like much looser regulations around like app publications. We always used to say like Play Store is going to be a piece of cake. We can get anything passed, and Apple's going to be pain, and they're like proven to be the other way around. So I think it's a matter of time until they bounce back, right? So, to all of our Web3 listeners out there, don't stress out. There's still going to be ways to distribute your apps. Actually, one other way I recommend to whoever is building a crypto app, I extremely recommend to go on one alternative app store, which has been overlooked for a long time, which is the Telegram app store. Telegram is this messenger, which is very well known within the Web3 community. It has 1 billion users. 1 billion users. That is probably a third of all mobile users, or fourth of mobile users. And you can actually launch your own apps on the Telegram app store. And a lot of crypto apps have been launching there. And the cool thing is, did I lose you?
I'm here.
Okay. The cool thing is that the competition there is a lot smaller for the distribution. So like you don't have like thousands of apps there. Like when you get there, there's a billion users and there's a lot less apps. So like the ratio is still in your advantage. It's like the early days, right?
Nice.
So I think actually my prediction on the spot is that Telegram is likely going to release their app store as an alternative app store on Android and iPhone in the EU. And it's going to be probably widely adopted by the Web3 community, especially if things like these are going to keep happening.
Yep. Well said, Sardor. I think that's a good closeout of this, and we'll segue into apps, specifically user experience. I've talked a lot about this myself in the onboarding side of things, and this tweet gave me a new perspective. It goes to just the wording. Just changing simple words and how you phrase them can have a big impact. So what this guy says here is stop using sign in and sign up together. Try these instead. Sign up and log in, sign in and create account, log in and get started, or register and log in. You can even go the extra mile and say try it for free, as it gives more info than a general label. So here's kind of a look at the do's and don'ts. And I've seen this a lot. When I saw this tweet, I thought about it. I've seen this a lot in apps. but I never thought about it on this level of how similar sign up and sign in are, and how you can have more action oriented things like get started. What's your thoughts, Sardor?
This is interesting timing because I swear the other day I was on this website. I can't recall what it was. And I was trying to sign up and I could only see sign in. I couldn't find sign up. And it took me maybe like good 3 seconds to see the get started was actually the call to action. It was exactly like shown here. Maybe it was this guy's website that he designed, Denislav, right? But for me, it was actually unusual. Maybe because I'm a power user that signs up for 30 different websites every day and apps. Like I just test them, right? And I'm kind of used to having like, these names. But what is his point here? Is he saying like this will increase conversion? Like it's going to make it less confusing or what is his point here?
Yes, I think it's both of what you said. Less confusion, more conversion. But I do hear you. A lot of users are used to that sign up. I particularly like this one the best because I think login is really straightforward and sign up is the way to go.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you more. I'll take this further. What I really love, my favorite way to sign up or sign in is always Google. You know why? Because sometimes I don't remember if I already signed up. And I just click with login with Google. And what it does is Google specifically designed their authentication API. Did you know that they did it on purpose where sign up and sign in are one API connection so that it checks the database. If there is no account, it signs you up. If there is, it signs you in. Exactly. Just one button. That's what I'm saying. Ozer, yes. That's what I'm saying. Sign in with Google. No need to sign it. Exactly. Well, and on this, you got me on my favorite topic. As you know, I'm currently spending a lot of my time in Uzbekistan. And I think like all the neighboring countries, we're ahead on a lot of things, including this. We do not have passwords. We dropped passwords altogether here. Like there is no one major website or an app where I have to use my password. You know why? Because everything is just one way to sign in and sign up the same way. There's only one UI, which only asks for my phone number. And then after that, it asks me for like some other basic information, like my phone, like my name, and maybe email. Email is not even like common, right? Email is usually optional. It's like a second way to authenticate. But like phone, what it does is it sends you OTP. So everywhere I can just log in with my phone number. I don't have to remember my passwords. Now, the bad thing is if I lose my number, of course, it's a pain in the ass, which is what happened to me when I left the country. But if you live here, you get used to it. Your phone number is your way to pay everywhere. Every time I pay, I have to use my phone number. And that's it. I don't have to all these like payment services, the local PayPal alternatives, they all work through my phone number. And I think that's the most convenient way. I've only seen it in one major app in the US called Intro, competitor to one of the apps we built, Minect, where they specifically say passwords are so lame. We drop passwords, log in with phone number and sign up with phone number too. So it's like an alternative to Google sign in, sign up, through a phone number. That's what I prefer. So I think he has a point, but there's an even better way.
Yeah, I like that. My first reaction to this reply that you mentioned about Google, I have experienced that before. There's only one option. You click the Google button and you're either already signed up and they're logging you in, or you're signing up right there from that. Only downside, people who might not use Google. There are a decent amount of people out there that don't use Google, surprisingly enough. Yeah. On the second part with the phone, it's funny you say that because I had a scenario just here an hour ago where if I needed to pay for something, I wouldn't have been able to get that one-time passcode with my phone. I had an issue with my phone. So I hear you on that. I like it, but if you're at your computer,
like you didn't have your phone on you, or what? What was the issue?
The issue was my service got locked. My service got locked.
Like you didn't have service. Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That is a problem. That is a problem. I agree. But like in most cases, it's so much easier to just use that. So, that's what we got to do.
I think options is the way to go. I do like simplicity, but I think giving your users options, as long as you can not overwhelm them, is huge.
Yeah, and a lot of fields that you make your users fill out, they just drop your conversion, man. Like make them optional. Or like asking for most basic, like their phone and first and last name and email. And then all the other stuff like age, their sexual preferences, their freaking like gender, all that. Like, what was their like high school teacher's name? Like all that bullshit. Like, make that optional, leave it to the end, like, and let them sign up, let them skip those things. If you really need that data.
Yeah, and it's perfect segue that you say, asking too many questions in onboarding. Perfect segue into this next tweet, where the recommendation, or at least what they did, is they moved the rating option to the very start of onboarding.
Interesting.
So Nick Lawton says, we underestimate the power of reviews for social proof until we tested one tiny change. They moved the rating option to the start of onboarding. And it's key to note, when Apple split out ratings and reviews into two separate things that you didn't have to do together, I think that is huge for the App Store and huge for apps, because a lot of people will give it a 5-star submit, but writing that paragraph is a whole nother story of the actual review. Prior, I don't remember how many years ago, but you had to do both. To submit a review, you had to rate it and review it.
Oh yeah, I don't remember those times.
Yeah,
No, but it did a much better way.
Yeah, these guys said they got thousands of reviews in a day, matching the pace of our creative growth. Now,
Wow, so like they asked to rate the app while people are signing up. Interesting. Well, I haven't used the app, so I guess like a lot of people just like quickly click and like
5
skip
stars.
it.
Yeah, I like the adding up. I'm just gonna get 5 stars and get past it.
Yeah. I guess so. Interesting.
Yeah. Here's my thought process. They haven't used the app to have any negative feelings to give you a 1, 2, or 3-star
that's
review.
right.
So I think that is a slim chance asking them to onboarding. But on the flip side, if they want to get through things and
That's annoying.
they enjoyed the ad and they liked the concept of the app, they might give it a 5-star right there. But there's so many more eyeballs on that rating is what
Well,
they're doing.
and while users haven't churned, and even if they're going to churn, you're at least like getting something out of them, which is kind of smart. It's a way to growth hack it. Yeah, for sure. We got to try. We got to recommend this to our clients. We'd be down to try if you guys are down. To whoever's listening, that's a good way to also rate. Until this gets abused, of course. I don't know how many views this tweet got. And obviously, after our podcast, this shit is going to blow up, to all of our 8 listeners. But 15,000, all right, I'm 100% rating app. If I see a ratings prompt in anything in the onboarding, but of course, I'm not anything like the general public, so what do I know? That's true, though. That is true.
Yeah,
That's why I always think I'm not like general public,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. I'm curious of what SideShift does. So maybe some
money. It earns money. Oh,
Yeah.
It's 49 in business category, 100% because of the growth hack. Very smart guys. Very smart guys. They growth hacked it. I really have respect for all the hustlers out there that are growth hacking their way into like charts, whatever they have to do for that.
Yeah, Nick or anybody from SideShift, if you want to come on and talk more about your app, we would be glad to have you.
Love to have you on the pod. That's right.
Yep, and I think you made one thing you said made a really good point, is that this is one of those tweaks you do once you already do have scale that can make a huge difference. If you do this from the start, it's only going to be incremental. But if you already have a really good flow of new users coming in, that marketing pipeline,
Yeah, you got to do some kind of push, of course.
little changes can make a huge difference then, later on.
Yeah, once you're in the charts, then you get even more users, so it's a trickle effect. So, just got to not overdo it, but respect. Great, smart way.
All right. Now, this next tweet is a fairly simple one. I'm going to zoom in here on Hunter Isaacson, who says he builds apps. That's his bio. An app goes viral if its core functionality encourages users to invite their friends. I love it.
So, like, what's an example?
Simple.
Like, there was this app from Nikita Bear that, what was this, Splash, like a disappearing app? Remember, like, the Snapchat clone that you had to send an iMessage? Like, the only way to use the app was to share it with friends. I'm kind of hesitant to build those kind of apps myself because, like, it's got to be good enough for them to want to share it. So, like, I kind of have a fear because, like, it's either you hit it big or you don't hit it at all with these kind of apps. But if you do hit it, then yeah, it's like the growth is built in, right?
Exactly.
The app. So it's cool. Like, and you can like build in elements of this, like Duolingo does in their apps. Like when you have an achievement, it tells you, hey, share it to your stories. Like, grow the app type of thing. So. Yeah, very much a Nikita Bear type of vibe here.
Yep, yep, and it kind of reminds me of the functionality of Luma, event type of
Oh
app.
yeah,
You
yeah.
sign up for an app, share, invite your friends to this. That's a core functionality, somewhat of a core functionality that adds that viral effect. But you make a good point. I can't think of a ton of apps myself that I use that have this as the core functionality.
100%. Yeah. So I always look at Duolingo. Duolingo is my North Star for all the social growth. I fucking love that app, dude. I've got back on it after like 8 years of pausing, and I'm on my day 47. And look at this owl, like it's killing me. Its face is like, hey, you better practice.
Yeah,
It's dying for me to practice. This widget is so smart, so smart. It's incredible. This company is just something else.
Duolingo does it right. Can't argue with that at all.
Honestly, I think there's a huge opportunity to just copy Duolingo into other categories. Like, just take the same concept and make like, which they are doing themselves. They just built the chess part of it. But somebody could still specialize in chess on other things and build a Duolingo clone, like literally copy their playbooks.
Yeah, yeah. I think I've seen a either Twitter or Reddit thread about that. Who's building the Duolingo for? And then the replies are just a bunch of people saying, "I'm building the Duolingo for this, that,
But they
whole
all
one
kind of
thing."
do it wrong, I have to yet see. They all advertise it that way too. They say Duolingo for your brain, Duolingo for your reading. Then you get there and it's nothing
Yeah,
near that. Like the UI is cool, but like the type of gamification they make there, and like the passive aggressive comments and like the streaks and how they play with psychology of streaks. Like yesterday, I lost my 46-day streak. And guess what they didn't
ah,
make me do? They said, but we have a challenge for you. If you take like 5 lessons in a row, we're going to recover your streak. And then they send you comments like, it'd be a bummer to lose your 46-day streak. Like it's passive aggressive, but it works.
yeah. Don't you dare let that owl show up in your sleep and scare you.
Yeah. Which I had another like startup idea, which is one of our rubrics here. Somebody should like. There's so many apps that are creating Duolingo 4X. And one of our clients, even Cybernut, right, created their own chip, like the character, correct?
Yeah,
Like that was developed in house, and now they have to like. It's very hard for them to sustain all the posts made by this character, right? And like basically sustain its personality. It's a whole character of its own. There could
yeah,
be a company that creates a character for you, but not only does it create it, it sustains it, meaning like it dresses it up for you. It makes posts on behalf of this character, right? On different holidays. So you basically like it keeps the brand of this character for your brand on your behalf. It could be an agency or it could be an AI product that like you can manage. You can dress up your mascot or whatever. You know what I mean? You create your own mascot like Duolingo using AI.
mascot as a service. I see
Mascot
it
as a
going
service.
on.
SaaS. Mass is the new SaaS. Let's go.
Yeah, because Cluely's doing the same thing. They're leaning into the mascot bit, and they had a really goofy looking furry suit, and have made a ton of content of it. Everybody's gonna start leaning into it.
100%.
All right, we got two more posts about vibe coding, then we'll get to our shout out. First one, I'll let you read off for us, Sardor.
Okay, this guy Lucas. Full avatar Lucas. Luke Carey. All right, vibe coding, a production app is retarded. The tech is not there yet, and it'll be a hassle to maintain. Show me a vibe coded app that is a 5+ screen and interacts with an API. Okay, you already made it difficult to show. Does 3,000 plus in MRR, has a large user base. Doesn't have a security scale issue. Okay, well, because yeah, without like the 1 and 3, this could have been maybe T app. Although I don't know if they even had MRR. They had a lot of users, and so this guy
Yeah.
said, "Then I'll shut the fuck up." I was thinking the same thing. Like, okay, 1 million views on this post. Wow, I'd actually be curious. I was looking for this post myself. Like, please, somebody, yes, show me. I am. Don't get me wrong. I'm very bullish on vibe coding, as you know. But I am truly still looking for an app. I mean, what was the biggest example? It was Peter Levels, right? That made apps that were
Yep.
making money. Although he's a
Yep.
developer, he coded a lot of it himself, right? So what are people saying? Did anybody point out an example here? Recapio is entirely vibe coded, 200 new signs up daily. Okay, I entirely vibe coded AI customer support engine app for a client. It autonomously processed 7 70 to 100 customer support requests. So actually, everything I do past 2.5 years, 100%. 1.5 years. Dude, a year ago, nobody knew what vibe coding was. Okay, this guy's early. It's a
This guy's Mr.
tool. Tell it how
Bargain.
you want your security. We got to talk to him. What's his name? Like, we invite you. We dare you. We dare you. Shaggy.
Shimeki.
And UI, we dare you to come on the pod and vibe code something for us and demo your products to us. And if you do, we'd love to outsource our projects to you if you can do it. I mean, we can do it, but it looks like you're a lot better at it. So you're a lot ahead of us. So we'd love to talk to you, man. Oh, the author said, check your DMs. I told you how to fix it. My God, I love this fight.
Yeah.
So he's pointing out issues about this product, the author of the post, to the guy who said,
Yeah.
I vibe coded everything. I love it. Spawn and fixed stats, blueprint was open, other endpoints are already protected. Well, the thing is, this guy is 100% a developer. That's the thing, Andrew. Like, I would add number 4 on this and say something that is vibe coded by a non-developer, okay? That is what we
Yeah.
talked about. There's a developer in the loop that is required. It's like vibe coding is not for amateurs yet. I would love for it
Yep.
to be, but it's not yet. So it's still a very promising concept, but isn't. Fully vibe coded is sitting at a pound, $12 million MRR. What is this? Voice to lose?
$12.
$12 MRR. Oh, $12. I was like 12 million. Okay. That's cool. That's cool.
All right.
But you know what was interesting? Just on one last thing on this post is like Sophia Amoruso was recently on this Jason Calacanis podcast, the one that's called Today in Startups or something, Daily Startups or something. And she talked about how she participated in the latest round of Lovable, a $200 million investment round as an angel. And she was so excited that Lovable is the next, like it's the best company that's growing the fastest, blah, blah, blah. And Jay Cal, who's also an investor, he's an earlier investor in this company, he admitted, he said, but hold your horses. How many of those people have signed up and are just one-time users and are going to churn out? I was like, Jay Cal, thank you. You know, man, like you admit it. You are an investor in this company, but yet you admitted that this is still possibly not sustainable because a lot of people are just signing up and testing it and are not able to get to finish line. So
no, I fully agree. And the next tweet we're going to go into continues on about this whole topic. But yeah, Lovable is going to need to find some recurring traction at some point or another. I think there was a meme. I wish I had it saved here, but it was 100 million ARR and like celebration, and then it was like 120 million Anthropic bill and like a sad face.
that's a lot of startups. A lot of them are losing money. I wonder what Lovable is burning, honestly. Like probably a lot of money. And the winner here, or the real winner here is honestly, it is Anthropic, Claude. These guys are the best. Like honestly, if you're not too amateur, you can just use Claude code.
Yep.
You don't need all these wrappers around it. Yep. Let's go.
Let's go. Next one. Now this is a long one. We're not going to read the whole thing. We're going to have Grok do a little analysis on it. But I'll start with this here. This is how this guy feels about vibe coding. Tom Johnson over here, designer at Base Dash.
I need a business intelligence. Okay.
Any project that has any kind of complexity has this immediate burst of progress. You get that feeling of, wow, this is unreal what I can do right now. And things are amazing for a while until you add complexity and then things crash. So he gives his full breakdown on this. But there's a nice graph here that I really wanted to go through with you. The vibe zone. I feel like we should start showing this to clients. The vibe zone of the complexity versus how much progress you make, and then your happiness with the app, right? So your happiness with the app goes down as the complexity increases, and your progress goes down as well as you add complexity.
That is when you're vibe coding it yourself, right?
Yes, yep, 100%.
Yeah, so this just brings, again, another point is that, hey, vibe coding is just yet another way to code. It's a faster way to code, arguably, if you know how to use it right. But a project, Andrew, like an app is not just lines of code. A project is why we exist, why our business exists, is because project involves so much more than lines of code. It's getting somebody on the call at the right time, keeping them accountable, and then going in there and trying to take their ideas out of their brain and put it into the right scope of work is not vibe coding, not even coding at all. It's just words, even if you use AI for it, which messes it up. Then you got to give that to designers to design it properly and figure out your taste and show it to you 17 different times until you get the right iterations and you get it to the finish line. And then you start coding. So coding is just one part of it. And after coding, you debug it. After debugging, you deploy it. After deploying it, you have to then again QA it, then give it to testers for them to actually not do the quality assurance testing, but to do the product testing to see if the features you built are even needed. And most likely, they're not going to be as needed, so they're going to give you other feedback. And they're going to tell you, tweak this feature, tweak that feature. And then you go back and you redo it again. So for all of that, you need a lot of humans in the loop. Like you need multiple humans. You need a project manager, you need a designer, you need a QA. And only one of them in our team, out of 5 people that we allocate for every project, there's only one of them is developer. And even if they're vibe coding, it's still a project at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
I think you bring up a very good point. And we might want to be cautious when we use the term vibe coding, for our end, because I think in these tweets we saw a lot of replies of what's the definition of vibe coding. I think vibe coding truly is when it's one person just hopping on there, telling AI they have an idea for X, Y, and Z, versus using these low code, no code tools, Lovable, Bolt, Rourke, you name it, to build out a project. Whole different story. There's a team behind it. The developers know exactly where to go with any hurdles that you run into. So I think you make a really good point. There's a difference between just straight vibe coding and building a project with vibe coding tools, right?
Which is what we do. And arguably it's faster, which is what we're seeing so far. It's still very experimental for us. We already have 2 active projects, a couple more coming in the pipeline. That's just the nature of it. I mean, I really wish it's still at the end of the day, I think it's going to be the same team, just working more efficiently, faster, but the processes are still going to be the same. We're not going to get rid of human issues. We're not going to get rid of human factor, and preferences and many different, especially how are you going to deal with multiple co-founders arguing with each other that one thinks they got to take the startup in one way and other things they got to take it another way. We had a client that it was like a family business, and there was 4 people arguing on the call about the color of the button that they want to pick. And that is no matter what you vibe code with, it's still gonna hinder, progress. There's a lot of human element here.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I do have a fun little video on a positive note about vibe coding, and I'm gonna see if I can line up the audio here with my phone so that the audience can hear it.
Let's go. Been audio engineering today,
Oh, yeah. And you make a good point. We're all engineering something in some way. Software engineering is just a different beast.
Yeah, but there's other types of engineering. Sound, marketing engineering too, growth engineering, sales engineering.
All right. Let's see here. Phone. All right.
I can hear it.
Yeah, I'm going to try to press play at the same time on these. We're going to switch tabs over here. You're seeing this, Sardor?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I know this meme.
Yeah. All right.
Let's go.
So, yeah, I thought that was fun.
But I thought there was going to be an end to it where this guy becomes that, they kind of flip because, at the end, debugging is still pain in the ass, But true. This is this original meme was about designers versus developers, how designers vibe out and they put super fancy animations, and then developers have to sweat to code it out. And now I love how this became about developers versus developers. It's just different kinds of developers that we got. So
yeah,
fun times. Love these memes.
Perfect. Now I think it's time for our special shout out. Do you want to lead us into that, Sardor?
Yeah, let's do it. Honestly, this is such a special moment. Why I'm stoked today on this pod is I hope Boris has been a listener on this episode as well. Got to give him a big shout, Boris. We followed each other on Instagram last week, but you really you came to us last week, I believe. I spoke to you as well. You're speaking to our team right now. about your app you're trying to build. I'm not going to give out what it is, but Boris apparently has been a listener and he's listened to all of our episodes. And he found Synergy Labs and he submitted his request, and we're talking to him right now about building his app. But honestly, it's such a special moment because like we do this pod for ourselves, kind of for fun, because we love doing this and like we want to share our knowledge. And usually it's like clients who already come to us that want to kind of make sure we're real people and we know what we're talking about. And they come and check out the pod afterwards, but not Boris. Boris found us through the pod and he came down to around 2 Synergy Labs. So like, I guess Synergy Labs has incubated Appsurd Show, and Appsurd Show is feeding it back, I guess, with its audience, so to say, which is a very special moment because I didn't really expect. I honestly thought it's just 7 people listening out of maybe it's 17, maybe it's 70. We got to check the stats, Andrew, by the way. We're not really checking because like we honestly love doing this. We're doing it for ourselves. We would be doing this regardless. This is our regular conversation with Andrew when we hang out, honestly. Like we just like geek out on different products and shit and like tweets. And he sends me these tweets all the time, no matter if we're doing a pod or not. And I react to them. It's cool as fuck to find out somebody's actually listening, and so we're not alone here. So we can now say to our listeners that are there, and there's going to be segments of like those who are watching and listening, right?
And another nugget to add on there, I don't know if we're gonna have to cut this if you held off on saying it for a reason, but Boris actually runs a brand himself, and one of our team members
that's right.
uses his product, has it on his shelf in his bathroom, which is crazy because it's not a gigantic, globally known brand, but it's pretty big. I haven't heard of it before, but Sean comes out of nowhere. I got that in my bathroom.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Like the other day, we were talking about this with CJ, our head of business development, and he says, yeah, there's a brand that Boris runs. It's called evolveage.com. And I go check out the website. And I'm like, looks cool, but I've never seen the shampoo. And like Sean goes, yeah, no, I have it in my bathroom. I'm like, no freaking way. Like, this is a 7-figure revenue, apparently, brand. But, and when you compare it to like your Head and Shoulders of the world, like this is a drop in the ocean. Like the odds of our team member having this in his bathroom was like super low, especially because this is a women's brand. And apparently his sisters were using it. So that was really cool. So let's give him a shout. Let's share our screen. Actually, as something very special I want to do to thank Boris to being our first listener that actually got in touch with us. By the way, to everybody else who's listening, please do get in touch with us. Please send us a line. Send us an email to Sardor at synergylabs.co and Andrew at synergylabs.co. Just say hi. Just say you exist and that you're listening, and we'd be happy as fuck. It would make our day, honestly. But to Boris, because he made our day for the first time, I really love this brand too. And I want to do something live here on the show. I want to order his product. But Andrew, you got to, help me choose a shampoo.
You're asking the wrong person.
I don't know what you got for your beard, but there's different kinds of shampoos here. Maybe I got to get a conditioner, maybe a shampoo. We'll see. It's very difficult for me to pick a shampoo too because I use a very special one myself. So there's different products too, not only shampoos here, right? There's shampoos, conditioners, leave-in conditioners, treatments. Treats. I need treatments and masks. I need those. Scalp wellness. Yes, I need scalp wellness. Actually, I never thought I'd be shopping for a shampoo on the show, but that's the beauty of it, right? We can do whatever we want. We can really go. Yeah, this is an absurd show. Exactly. So scalp wellness. Give me some scalp wellness, Boris. Where is it? Where is my scalp wellness? It's not letting me. Is it my browser? I'm on the Perplexity browser, by the way. Yeah, the new Perplexity browser, which is invite only. So let's go to Scalp Wellness again. Let's see. All right, here we are. I think this is what it is. It's loading. All right, let's get some because I use this kind of product from Head and Shoulders. Growth support. All right. Growth support conditioner, pre-order and save, better roots serum value pack. All right, and there's a lot of choices, so maybe I just gotta get extends hair cycle. Take the quiz. Is there a quiz?
Top left. Yeah.
Where's the quiz? Top left. This hair quiz. That's what it is. All right, it might be a little long. I'll just go with the most like bestseller. You know what? And if I don't use it, I'll let my family use it. because I'm very but I'll try. If this shampoo works for me, it's meant to be. So, oh, these are all for volumes and smart curls, right? So we gotta do what's the spray? Insta volume. I don't need volume. I'm actually trying to
What
get
about
rid
that
of the volume.
scalp and hair oil?
Oh, where's that? I need
That's
that.
what you want
That's what
right
I
there.
need.
Yeah, you're on it.
This one. Yeah, all right, that's what I'm gonna get. I need oil. I need a scalp oil. Still pretty pricey, I gotta say, Boris, but I'm sure you're making a good product, if it works. I've been using fun weird fact about me. I've been using Head and Shoulders spray. I can show it. This freaking spray, I've been using it for 10 years because since I moved to the US, I've been having an allergy on every single shampoo I use. So if I don't use this spray after a shampoo, I have a disaster. So I hope, Boris, maybe we can chat about this. Your product saves me, um, but it's not letting me order. You know what? I'll post a screenshot because my computer's stuck for some reason, not letting me order this. So I'll do it after the show. I'll figure it out in another browser
Probably
so
got too
not to
many
take
things
up.
running. You got Riverside.
Probably. Probably, yeah. But I'm gonna get the shampoo. I'm gonna buy this product. I love the brand. Great branding. Honestly, I think you're gonna crush it with this app as well because you're a seasoned entrepreneur, Bruce, and your products are looking slick, and you know how to sell a premium product.
Shout out, Boris. Thank you very much, and hope you enjoy this episode as well.
Let's go.